Hey everyone, welcome to me and Annie's science project. Annie, introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Annie,
Alright,
our science project.
yeah, perfect. So, we built our project in Minecraft, which, as you'll soon see, is quite visual. So, Annie, you can start us off with the script at
Okay,
Democritus.
so Democritus lived from 460 BC to 370 BC, and Democritus was regarded with respect and was a powerful figure in his days. His theories about the atoms are still studied today, although there have been many people who have claimed that his theories do not hold the actual truth. He proposed that there was a point where you couldn't, so he hypothesized that there was an atomos, the building block of life. He wrongly supposed that every atomos was a different shape and color.
Alright, perfect, Annie. Um, so as the viewers can see, Annie is the voice, I'm the camera. And here we see the world of the atom from Democritus' point of view. As you can see, first of all, everything is a different shape and color. So per se, this water here, it is blue, and it is circular. Don't mind the swimming things. And also, in Democritus's mind, everything was solid. As you can see, this atom is quite solid. Just get my way out of here. There we go. So yeah, all right, Annie, head on up with Dalton.
Alright. Dalton was alive from 1766 to 1844. Democritus first suggested the existence of the atom, but it took almost 2 millennia before the atom was placed on a solid foothold as a fundamental chemical object by Dalton. Although 2 centuries old, Dalton's atomic theory remains valid in modern life. His theories were: number one, all matter is made of atoms and atoms cannot be destroyed. Number two, like in the atoms of a different element are different. And number three, compounds are formed by a combination of two or more different kinds of atoms. He also falsely hypothesized that atoms were solid. Modern atomic theory is obviously different, but the essence of Dalton's theory remains true. Dalton's theory quickly became a theoretical foundation in chemistry.
All right, perfect. So here again at the camera, you can see in Dalton's mind everything is circular. And again, just like Democritus, everything is quite solid. Now, please note that from here onward, color and size are simply used for contrast, and nothing more. So, yeah. And over here, just for kicks, and because I was hungry, I would like to introduce you to our greatest achievement, the cake atom. As you can see, it is entirely made of cake. Anyways, next guy, Annie, Thompson.
Okay, uh, J.J. Thomson lived from 1856 to 1940. In his experiments, he found a flaw with Dalton's theory. Thomson discovered that there were small particles inside the atom. This meant that the atom could be divided even more. He also discovered that there were negatively charged particles inside the atom using a cathode ray tube. He named these particles electrons. Using this, he proposed a new model. He called it the plum pudding model. Thomson thought electrons were mixed throughout the atom like plums in a pudding, hence the name.
Alright, and as you viewers can see, these, if in case you're blind or something, are the plums. This is the pudding. Great, now that we've got all that figured out, in essence, in metaphorically speaking, the plums are the electrons, these shiny things, and those not so shiny things. And the pudding is the giant, massive pink blob. So, yeah, that was Thompson's theory about everything. And as you can see, it's not too far off from Dalton. It's still circular. It's still solid. So, next guy, Annie. Rutherford.
Ernest Rutherford was born in 1871 and died in 1937. In 1907, he tested Thomson's theory. He designed an experiment to study the parts of an atom. He aimed a beam of small positively charged particles at a sheet of gold foil. He put a special coating on it so he could see where the particle went after hitting the foil. He expected the particles to go right through the sheet, but to his surprise, some came bouncing back. This meant that the plum pudding model was invalid. He realized that in order to incorporate his findings into a new model, atoms would have to be considered mostly empty space with a tiny part made of highly dense matter. He proposed that the highly dense positively charged matter had to be in the middle, and he called it the nucleus. Also, based on the results of his experiments, he reasons that the diameter of the nucleus was 100,000 times smaller than the diameter of the gold atom.
Perfect. So, as you can see here in Rutherford's model, in his mind there was a single condensed mass of protons, the giant red ball, in case you can't see that, and around it there were the electrons. Now at this point the people shut up Skype. Now at this point people didn't really know what the electrons were doing there, whether they were going in circles or orbiting or just sort of chilling out. So at this point they're just sort of chilling out around the nucleus of the atom. And also please note, at the time people believed that there may have been a large border around the atom. Alright, now that we've got that covered, let's move on to Chadwick. So, you know that awkward moment when you realize that your nucleus not only contains protons, but also neutrons? Well, that was Chadwick. He was looking around inside the atom, and he found these little white orbs. He called them neutrons. Why? Because they were neutral. They were neither positive like the proton, and neither negative like the electron. So, and his theory about the nucleus still pertains to our current scientific theory today. Alright, Annie. Head on, follow us up on with Bohr.
Niels Bohr lived from 1885 to 1962. In 1913, he studied the way that atoms react to light. His results led him to propose that around the nucleus and that electrons move around the nucleus in certain paths or energy levels. In Bohr's model, there are no paths between the levels. In this model, there are no paths between the levels. Bohr's model was a valuable tool in predicting some atomic behavior, but the atomic theory still had to be improved.
Alright, perfect. So as you guys can see here, the electrons are moving around in perfect little orbits around the nucleus, which is here. And yes, in case you can't see that, the nucleus still has protons and neutrons. And at the time, Bohr believed that there may have been a border, some sort of shield around the nucleus, but he didn't really know for sure. That's why we have this see-through border. And also, please note that, yes, I know these orbits aren't really orbital. They're more like dysfunctional and disgusting. But please, considering the fact that I was trying to build circles out of squares, it was just slightly impossible. And yes, for you people who are blind, these are squares in fact. Square. So, but I tried my best. Alright. For our final and last atomic model, Annie, finish it up.
Okay, Erwin and Werner,
Striemann, Hamburg, and Heimenberg.
yes, did important work was improving the modern atomic theory. They realized that Bohr's model didn't work anymore. Hence Miss Hannah telling us Bohr no more. They found out that the path of the electrons cannot be predicted. And according to the current theory, there are regions inside the atom where electrons are likely to be found. These regions are called the electron clouds.
Perfect, Annie. As you can see, I am hopping around inside the electron cloud here. And note, there are not actually this many electrons in this particular atom, but each of these little golden blocks specifies an area where any one electron could be at any one point in time. So yeah, and that is pretty much it. So, and in case you don't know, this is our present, today's atomic model. So let's take a quick overview, shall we? So, start way over here with Democritus. Everything is solid, and it's very colorful, and bright and pink and cuddly, and lots of shapes and sizes. Then we came over to Dalton, who is quite a simpleton, and just imagined circles. Circles. Lots and lots of circles. And then we had Thomson, who came up with the plum pudding model, because there are electrons in the pudding. Makes it look like plum pudding. Funny part is, I've never actually seen what plum pudding looks like. And then Rutherford. Rutherford was the guy who discovered the nucleus. Well, the original idea of the nucleus anyways, with the protons and the theorized border. Skype, shut up. And the theorized border around the atom. and then the electrons just chill out here in the middle. And then we come all the way over here to that one awkward guy who's like, yeah, you missed a spot, and realized that there were neutrons. That was Chadwick, in case you don't remember that. And he discovered the other 50% of the nucleus that nobody knew about, the neutron. And then we came up to Bohr, and Bohr was the one who, he's the Jimmy Neutron guy. And he's the guy who came up with the orbital ideas. Again, I was building them out of squares, don't judge me. And then last but not least, we've got our electron cloud model, which I think looks the coolest. Alright, Annie, wrap it up for us. Annie, are you there?
Oh, sorry, you faded out again. What'd you say?
Wrap it up for us.
Right. So this project, and I
I
really
worked
hope
3
you
hours
guys.
on it.
Yes, Alex put a lot of work on this, and I wrote the script, and we really hope you enjoyed it as we put a lot of effort into it.
Alright, and this is just also a final message, a word of wisdom. Guys, this was built in a video game. Buy more video games, because they're good for science.
Of course, Alex.
Captain Obvious, up, up, and away!
Every day I'm shuffling. Shuffling. Every day I'm shuffling.